A mother's worries about her son's unusual behavior grow as she watches them develop over time. It all started when young Brandon Hall insisted on donning no less than 3 sets of shorts. It may not have seemed significant at the time. Still, years later, he developed a strange fascination that quickly spiraled out of control. This is the tale of a young devil whose obsessions were more important to him than his own life, a teenager who killed 8 people before turning the pistol on himself. What you just heard is true. The adolescent didn't pause for reflection before viciously attacking his mother because of his fixation. It was strange for a man to show little affection for his loved ones. Still, this young man broke every stereotype imaginable. 8 individuals were killed, and several more were injured on Thursday, April 15, 2021, when 19-year-old Brandon Scott Hall opened fire at a FedEx ground facility in Indiana. No one knows what drove him, but many assume he intended to murder someone before taking his own life. From what we could see, he was not a vindictive former employee, as our research had shown. Paul Keenan, head of the FBI's Indianapolis field office, has said that only the shooter knows what motivated his horrific act of violence. However, based on the evidence, the FBI is certain that the Behavioral Analysis Unit's judgment is correct and that the shooter did not appear to be motivated by hatred or the desire to further an ideology. By doing this, he is essentially striving to prove his manhood. He left home but could not make it and eventually moved back in. He had been eating meals ready to eat, MREs, and other such stuff to prove that he could survive in such a situation. During their investigation, authorities did locate World War II Nazi-type material on the shooter's computers and mobile devices. It wasn't even a significant fraction of the content he had viewed. Out of the roughly 175,000 items he had browsed on his computer, there were likely fewer than 200 videos. The strange internet subculture of My Little Pony fans, to which he belonged, eventually became public knowledge. According to his Facebook page, 19-year-old Brandon Hall was an active member of the Bronies, an online network of adult male fans of the My Little Pony. Some of the page's followers reportedly feel a sexual attraction to the figures, and the group has shown extreme right-wing views. Less than an hour before he began shooting, Hall posted on Facebook at 10:19 p.m. with a photo of Applejack, a significant character on the show, and a blonde pony. The words, "I hope that I can be with Applejack in the afterlife. My life has no meaning without her." His fixation on an imaginary equine persona was the impetus for everything that happened. Even though he thought he'd see the pony again in the afterlife, he was curious about the experience of murder. Even on the final day, the unremarkable tragedy kept throwing curveballs. Brandon had reached the end of the line. In a session with a different social worker the next day, he said he no longer felt compassion for anyone, not even his family. 2 weeks later, at the final therapy session, he echoed the same phrase, but this time with a disturbing addition. Brandon said people should be terrified of him because he posed a danger to society, and he was right. The trouble started the night before. Brandon left his house without a trace at 11 o'clock on April 15, 2021, at 12:38 a.m., and his journey to the FedEx Smart Post facility was unremarkable. When Sheila got back from work, she found Brandon in a cheerful mood after he had eaten the food she had brought home. Sheila assumed he had a bath, and they went to bed afterward. The shooter entered the processing center near the Indianapolis airport and sprayed shots randomly, beginning in the parking lot. "I didn't get into any sort of altercation with anyone," he claimed. "Nothing unsettled or caused an argument to break out. A gunman who suddenly came and began shooting at will. Before the police arrived, he shot many people, wounded a few more, and shot himself." Brandon's mom wants him to know that she's crying for the victims, not for him. She would tell him that she misses those people more than she will ever miss him. This is the conclusion of the current one. I really hope you found some value in the debate. Like it, and we'll see you at the next one.